Hello everyone, this is Octavius of North American Archery. Thank you so much for tuning into our channel. Today I want to talk to you about shooting a bow needs to feel natural. Everybody has a way that they do everything in life, and it depends on what works for them, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. It's very essential that we're not trying to copycat people all the time. Sometimes we live in a culture that wants to compare ourselves to other people and let them be the standard of success. But really, we need to compare ourselves against ourselves by measurable goals. And so when it comes down to shooting a traditional bow, you want to make sure you get to the place where you find a shot process, an archery form, the approach, if you will, to what you're trying to do with a traditional bow that works for you. Right now you can see it's pretty windy on this Easter Sunday, and I want to take the time to tell you Happy Easter, Happy Resurrection Sunday. The King is risen, Jesus Christ, and I hope you all are blessed today with your families. You can go on an Easter egg hunt, have a good meal. Maybe you went to church, maybe you watched it at home. Whatever you did, just be blessed with you and yours. Now, what I want to talk to you about is, first, I want to explain the archery form. Everybody has a different archery form, a different way of doing things. It depends on if you shoot Olympic style, if you shoot bow hunting style. You know, your bow can be straight up and down, it can be canted, you can get good back tension, you can short draw, you can snap shoot. There's so many different things that affect your archery form, and so it depends on how you want to shoot and what you're trying to do and what your goals are. But your archery form is just one thing contained in your shot process, okay? So let me tell you about a shot process, okay? A little bit about that, okay? So your shot process is everything that you do to approach the shot that you have, okay? So let's say you're focusing on a target, how you stand, how your bow arm comes up, how you grab the string, how you hit anchor, okay? How you release, your follow through. Everything is in your shot process. Your stance, your follow through, your canting of your bow, your non-cant of the bow, the way you grab the string. It could be split finger, it could be 3 under. Do you get back tension? Do you not get back tension? Do you snap shoot? Do you short draw? Or do you go all the way to your full draw length? Like for me, I typically draw about 29.5. But if I shot Olympic style, it would be 30.5 to 31 easy, okay? Because I have long arms. But since I typically do traditional bow hunting, and that's my style, which is more of an open stance, if you will, and I cant the bow and I hit anchor. As soon as I hit anchor, I let the arrow fly. I always hit about 29.5 max, okay? But if I was to shoot straight up and down and hit anchor and really stretch that arm out and lock my elbow in, it's gonna be 30.5 to 31 easy, okay? And so your archery form matters, but it's just one part of your shot process that I'm explaining to you right now. So archery form is something contained in your shot process, and your shot process has to be something that feels natural to you. So for me, canting my bow, okay, as soon as I hit anchor, keep my hand in the face, but really bear down on what I'm looking at, putting the arrow shaft underneath my dominant eye and picking a spot and shooting instinctively works for me. Making sure that I feel the tension in the back, making sure I get good back tension is key for me, but not to the point where I'm holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, or 6 seconds, I should say. And so that's very important that you know that archery form and shot process is two different terms. However, your shot process, okay, is the term that contains archery form, okay? It contains your stance, okay? It contains how you focus on the spot, your aiming method, your bow arm, how you grip the string, so on and so forth, okay? So the first thing I want to tell you right now is that I got about 5 different things that I do in order to make sure that shooting a bow feels natural to me. And I think that when I ask these questions to myself over the years, and the questions I'm going to ask you right now and try to give you the answer that I came up with, these are 5 questions, I should say, that I've asked myself over the years to make sure that I'm on the right journey for me as a traditional archer. Number 1, let me grab my phone here. Number 1 that I write down on my phone, and I really do think that people should put in a phone things that they want to work on, or on a piece of paper, however you want to do it, and post it and have goals and stuff like that, because it's really going to help you become a better archer. Number 1, does everyone shoot a basketball, hit a golf ball, or throw a football the exact same? No. Okay? I played basketball, football, golf, did all kinds of things growing up and still do. And every time I get around other guys and other gals, they all do it differently. I've been shooting a basketball for my whole life. And some people consider me a pretty good shot. It always came to me pretty easy. And I can shoot a jump shot pretty well, you know, shoot free throws, so forth and so on. And my approach is different than everybody else's, right? But sometimes I'm looking on TV and I'm looking at a basketball player, right? And I'm like, why does he shoot the ball like that? It looks so weird. But then he keeps hitting the shots and hitting the shots and hitting the shots and hitting the shots. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need to judge him. He's effective. The form doesn't look good. His follow-through's terrible. It takes so long to develop when he wants to shoot the basketball, but it doesn't get blocked, and he keeps making it, and he's a 45% three-point shooter. You know, I see that all the time at the professional level, the college level, high school level, that people have a different way of shooting a basketball. They have a different way of putting a golf ball or driving a golf ball or throwing a football. Maybe they do overhand, they do sidearm, whatever it is. They might have a different method in throwing a baseball or whatever it may be. You know, everybody has a different way based on their body mechanics and how their mind works and how God has gifted them and how to approach an athletic movement, period, right? So keep that in mind. You know, everybody's going to shoot a traditional bow a little differently, and your way may not be as good as their way for them. The ultimate goal is we want to hit what we're looking at and not get injured while doing it, and try to minimize the mistakes as much as possible. So everybody's going to have a different way they do that, okay? And that's perfectly fine. So the answer to that question that I've asked myself over the years is no. Not everybody's going to shoot a basketball, hit a golf ball, and throw a football the same way. That means that if that's a no, not everybody's going to shoot a bow the same way. Number 2, does perfect archery form feel natural to everyone? The answer is no. Holding the bow straight up and down like this and locking that elbow out and drawing back a bow to complete anchor and holding for 3 to 6 seconds is not going to work for everybody. They're not Olympic shooters. They're not trying to hit a target 70 yards away or 30 yards away or 45 yards away. They're in a tree stand or a blind, canning their bow, trying to hit a deer in the woods with an arrow, right? But at the same time, there's guys that can do both. They can do Olympic style shooting, and they can switch over and do what a bow hunter would do, which was shoot in close proximity with quick decision making under a pressure situation. So But either way, it should feel natural to them. Also, another thing is that archery form, perfect archery form, is a subjective term. Well, how do you say that, Octavius? Well, the reason why is that, let's say you go to China and you show them the American way for perfect archery form. They might disagree with you. If you go to Africa, they shoot a bow a little differently. How do I know that? Because I know people that live in Africa, and I follow a couple of people that shoot archery in Africa, and they shoot a little differently than us. And maybe we'll do a video on that. Wherever you go in the world, archery form might look a little differently. So if you go over there and say, this is how you shoot a bear recurve. There's some places in the world don't even shoot a recurve. They don't even know what a recurve is. They have a different type of bow. So sometimes we can get so pigeonholed and so focused on the style that we want to do, and oh, this is archery form, and we become archery snobs, and we try to make people do things they shouldn't do, and it never becomes natural to them. Perfect archery form, a perfect archery shooting process, is all subjective. Number 3, if you are hitting what you are looking at consistently, is there any need to change your shot process? The answer is yes. If you are consistently shooting and hitting that bullseye, you should always still tweak your shot process, because there's no such thing. You're gonna have shooting slumps if you shoot for 30 years, right? So what I recommend people do is, yes, you're gonna be more consistent than other people, especially when you're dedicated to the craft. But you're gonna have times where you have a shooting slump. And when you hit that shooting slump, which inevitably you will, what you wanna do is you want to shoot on camera. Like right now, I'm doing this video on camera, right? And as you're shooting, you want to see how you're canting the bow, how's your bow arm coming up, how you're drawing the bow back, how are you focusing on your spot. Maybe you change your aiming method. Maybe you change your stance to an open stance, or back to your elbow to the target. Your shoulder, to the target. You're going to always tweak things because you want to get better. That's what drives you in this sport, in this craft. So I consistently hit what I'm looking at, but I'm constantly working on fundamentals, especially in the off season, especially when I'm not hunting. I don't change things when I'm hunting. I'm sticking with what I've been going with, right? I'm not gonna change a thing. But in the off season, when I'm not hunting anything, like right now, I'm not having any hunts until maybe a month or two. Right now, I'm working on all kinds of fundamentals on camera for my own education, and I'm tweaking my archery form, my shot process, constantly all the time, because I can see little flaws. Because the more consistent I can be in my approach to the shot, the better my results will be. Number 4, does bow hunting take a different shot approach than competition shooting? The answer is yes. We need to have a different shot approach to bow hunting than competition, because we don't have the luxury a lot of times to hold so long on an animal. An animal will give you sometimes 1 second to shoot, right? That's why I shoot quickly. A lot of people will say, well, you shoot quickly because you have target panic. No, I don't. I shoot quickly because it's the best way for me to shoot. I don't need 4 or 5 seconds to shoot an animal. What I need him is to stop or go completely to a slow crawl or stroll to the woods or through that field. And as soon as I bring that bow arm up, by the time I hit anchor, I'm ready to shoot him, because I've taken in the whole sight picture, and I know subconsciously, instinctively, where to shoot that animal. Not only where, but when. So my approach is going to be a little different in that scenario versus if I'm 3D shooting. If I'm 3D shooting, I might hold for 2 seconds, potentially, because I don't have the animal moving, right? Sometimes I've seen myself on camera when I 3D shoot, I might hold for 2 seconds because for some reason I feel like I have to. Instinctually, I'm like, okay, I don't really know how they're setting this up. They got a deer on a rope or on a cart, roll him through the wheels, and he's going through, right? I might go a little slowly and follow him and then release. You know what I mean? So it depends on the situation that I'm in. I also will hold a little longer when I used to competition shoot in leagues. I'll hold a little longer in those situations, right? But I never hold long, and I never have the same shot process that I do when I competition shoot to when I bow hunt. It's two different things. Competition shooting, static style, just holding your elbow straight, lock your elbow out, I should say, and hold your bow straight up and down, is not the way I like to shoot a traditional bow in a hunting situation, right? But I would do that, but it's been years ago when I was shooting in a competition situation. Number 5, can your shot process go from feeling unnatural to natural with practice? Can your shot process go from feeling unnatural to natural with practice? The answer is yes. You can be taught good archery form, a new shot process, okay, and it be weird for a few months, and then all of a sudden it'll turn around. And right now you might be going through that. You might be trying to change up some things that you're trying to do. You might be watching YouTube. You might have a coach. You might have somebody in your life trying to give you advice, and you're like, you know what? I want to take the time before deer season to change this whole deal up. That my whole shot process up completely before I go out and hunt any more deer, because I was erratic and not consistent all deer season. That's great. I've been there. It may feel weird for a while, but it can go from unnatural to natural. But sometimes you can practice for 2-3 months and still it doesn't feel natural. That's when you go back to what is natural. The worst thing is for you to shoot 3 to 4 months and for some reason your goals are not getting met. You're struggling and you're frustrated and you have no idea why you keep shooting this way, and all you do is keep powering through it, and powering through it, and the results are still the same. Go back to the place you were before you made the change and see if it works a little bit better for you. You don't always have to shift around. Sometimes you just have to tweak little things in your shot process, in your archery form. So, yes, it is possible from going from unnatural feeling when you're doing your shot process, when you're changing it around, to a natural feeling of shooting. But it's better to change little things along the way so it always feels natural. You don't have these huge plateaus, if that makes sense. So guys, I hope this video helps you. Like I said, happy Easter. I want you to have a blessed year. Jesus is Lord. He went to the cross for us so we won't have to have shame, guilt, sin, and condemnation on our lives for the rest of eternity, okay? So if you haven't made him your Lord and Savior, please do. There's a lot of different things out there that you can go to in order to receive him as Lord and Savior. That's what Easter is all about, to understand who he is. Even though the bunny and the eggs and the kids going out there and getting different things under the tree or in the bushes is fun and everything, that's not really what the holiday is about. It's about family, it's about faith, and it's about what God did on the cross through his son, Jesus Christ. So guys, I appreciate everything you're doing. Please continue to like and subscribe and turn on your post notifications. And remember this, you don't have to get ready when you stay ready. All right, guys, God bless you. We'll see you later.